Jack Conway, 232 West Avenue. I'd like to wish everybody a happy holidays. It's been a really contentious 8 months, but from the bottom of my heart, I wish everyone in this town, everyone in this room, and everyone on that dais happy holidays and good fortune in this year. I also think that the process issue with Jim Connors and Chazen, I think the process issue is important, but somebody needs to stand here and say that this is a good man and that's a good firm. Jim stood up at the public comment session at Columbia for the planning board and was immensely helpful, and their responses to the consistently shoddy work submitted by Saratoga Casino and Raceway is a tremendous service to this town. So whereas I agree the process issue needs to be addressed properly, this is a good firm and this is a man whose integrity is beyond question. So that needs to be said.
You just said it, and I agree with you.
Right?
Without question.
Without question. Where I want to start is the motion tonight to allow the public to file complaints with the Board of Ethics. The Code of Ethics was passed in good faith. The people who passed it, the people who drafted it, the people who spoke at the public hearing all believed that the public could submit complaints. So in good faith it was passed. We're now trying to rectify that, and I urge that you do. And here's why. Ed said at the last meeting, and I'm not here to pick on Ed or give him a hard time, but he made an interesting statement. He said, if the public files a complaint, it's he said, she said. But that's not really true, and here's why. If somebody signs a notarized, gets a notarized complaint and submits it to the Board of Ethics, the Board of Ethics determines whether there's cause to proceed. So all the nonsensical political attacks and irrelevancies and everything are weeded out. But if they determine there's cause to proceed, even in the minimal he said, she said scenario, here's what happens. The citizen who files the complaint comes in and is interviewed by the Board of Ethics. Separately, the town official comes in and is interviewed by the Board of Ethics. Here's what's achieved there. It's a statement that town officials believe they should answer to valid complaints issued by their people who elected them.
Here's a problem.
What's that?
Here's a problem.
Yeah.
Those three complaints that were made when it was identified that it wasn't appropriate for the public to file a complaint. I don't think 24 hours passed, Jack, before the whole town of East Greenbush knew about those complaints. All right, which is wrong. No, because you know, and I'll tell you why. Here's the problem. You're going to be here's what I have a problem, and it's not for me. It's for future boards. All right, myself and future boards. There's a political element to what we do here. We're all elected officials, and much of which happens is in this business may not be based on what factually happened, perception. So, can you can only imagine what it would be like to be running for office, all right? And I'll use myself as an example, all right? And have that ethics code changed to make for public to provide a complaint against me, all right? Now, there's probably a few people in this room that don't care too much for me, all right?
That's politics.
That's politics, yeah? So, but in an election year, quite possible they might use that as an attempt to, a week or two before an election cycle, say that Supervisor Langley had 20-some ethics code complaints filed against him, whether they were true, not true. A perception will be made. I will be judged, you could be judged, unless you can provide a security blanket with regards to a complaint. I don't know how you can possibly.
But that's there, Keith.
It's not there. No, it's just not there.
It's absolutely there.
It's not even remotely there.
It's not even
no, Jack, and don't listen. Whether or not we want to agree with Ed or not, he happens to be the elected chair of the ethics board, and it wasn't done by this board; it was done by the ethics board. All right.
But Keith, this is the point: is that the first job of the Board of Ethics is to determine whether there's cause to proceed, and what that means is that a valid complaint linked specifically to a clause of the Code of Ethics has identified a possible conflict of interest, they could throw 100 complaints at you 2 weeks before the election, and the Board of Ethics' responsibility is to look at those, read them, and put them in the circular file. That's built into the system. But here's why I say this.
But everything is open. It's open.
Well, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. Ed,
Well, it has been.
Ed took a rough draft, passed it,
And you know
sat
what?
on it for 8 months
And the proof of it was, Jack, it happened. It happened.
Business history, Jack.
Wait a minute, stop, please. It happened, Jack. With the three complaints that were made, everybody in town knew about them within a short period of time. And I don't use the word everybody.
No, I know.
But
I know what you're saying.
it's spread out like
But
wildfire.
everyone who files a complaint with the Board of Ethics has the constitutional right to tell anyone they want that they filed it. That's too bad. That's just how law works. But here's my point. Let me make this point. The Code of Ethics, the preamble, and the purpose of the Code of Ethics is to ensure that every decision made by the town is made in the public interest and not to the benefit of an individual, family, business, or political party. Only the public can truly determine their interest. And what's being asked in this resolution is should you ask the public at a public hearing whether they should have the right to appeal to their town for valid complaints that have been ruled as valid, not determined, but valid to be investigated, and you're protected in that way. Now,
I think further discussion needs to take place on this issue because you're amending a local law. So that to even ask for a public hearing tonight on this resolution is premature to the actual formation of the local law itself. Would that be fair to say?
No, because we cited an Attorney General's opinion, and we also have counsel from General Counsel at the Association of Towns. This resolution has been fully vetted, and it's doable.
I guess I'm working with.
well, you might say it's too soon. I say it's 4 years and 2 months too late.
Yeah.
Could I continue, please? Because I have a kind of a flow here.
All right,
I have my whole spiel
But
worked
you've got
out.
about 5 minutes.
I need to get a rhythm here.
I just want Dave to weigh in.
Obviously, you can have a public hearing, but you're going to have the local law in place before you have the public hearing. In other words,
You're going to have to draft of the local law.
you're
That's
going to
right.
have the president in the clerk's office, I believe it's with 5 or 10 days.
That's right. That's
before
right.
it's returned.
But that can still be met. With the passage of this resolution tonight, that can be met. Now, here's where
Are you saying we rushed the resolution?
What?
Are you saying we rushed?
No, absolutely not.
It's already been researched, and it's ready to go.
I'm saying there's plenty of time still to do it. But please,
Okay.
rhythm is everything when you're speaking. And I was on a roll, almost. But here's the point, is that the public interest is something that only the public can determine. And if I could pivot, today we have the decision of the casino. And one thing we learned from the location siting board today is that the public interest does not consist of what the 5 of you want. Because the 5 of you, and then later 4 of you, wanted a casino. And we went and demonstrated, and even Rita Cox, in a very classy statement tonight, admitted that the citizen opposition to this casino sunk this project. And what it opened up is that discrepancy.
Let's get past the casino.
No, absolutely not. Mr. Supervisor, that's where I'm going. You know I'm not a mean-spirited person. That's where I'm going. What I'm saying is that what the casino debacle showed is that the public interest is not what the 5 of you say it is, it's what we say it is. Only the public can determine accurately what its interest is. Now, in fairness,
I didn't hear in the decision being made by the siting board today, anything relating to the public outcry.
Read the report.
In the report, it was said there. And Rita Cox admitted in her statement that there were 12,000 citizen comments made to the siting board throughout the state, and probably a lot, if not most of them, came from, say, East Greenbush.
Okay,
So it's there. Now, here's what I want to say.
Wow.
The
5 minutes, all right?
Wait, I've been talking for a minute and a half. You guys have been
Let him talk.
Let me finish, because I'm not going anywhere in a mean-spirited way with this.
Okay.
When this casino thing fell on you, the governor and the legislature put you guys between a rock and a hard place, okay? I would have preferred that with not enough time to make a good decision, you'd have deferred on that basis. But the fact is, I believe you acted in good faith, and I believe you did what you thought was in the best interests of the town. But in fairness, I really believe that, and I think what happened is the people in this community had a different opinion, and we felt that we could express the public interest differently. Because of the discrepancy that was opened up in the casino decision between the wishes of this board and what the public interest in fact is, it means that this ethics proposal should be judged on the basis that what you want is not the same thing as the public interest. So, Mr. Supervisor, I agree totally with your statement. It's time to move on. There's been a lot of hard feelings. There's been a hard fight. We need to come together. We need to move on. And I would like to make a request of this town board. I would ask you to appropriate $5,000 and contribute it to Save East Greenbush to help pay the debts that we've run up during this campaign. What is the public interest worth? We've run up debt, we've all put thousands of dollars in, we still have debts. To move forward together in the interest of reconciliation, in the interest of healing this town, I make that request and I ask you to seriously consider it. Thank you.
Pass the hat around.